I'm here with Valerie Menard, candidate for Austin City Council District 1. Thank you for being here, Valerie.
Thank you, Brandy.
So there's a bunch of people in your race, and how are you distinguishing yourself from the other candidates, and why should people pick you, especially in terms of how you might lead on environmental issues?
Well, I am an environmentalist. I'm very committed to reduce, reuse, recycle, including the badge I wear on the campaign, which I made myself, I repurposed. But I think initially for me, what distinguishes me is my background.
Okay.
And my background in community service has been in the arts. It's been on the Arts Commission and as the president of the Center for Mexican American Cultural Arts. Mm-hmm. And as on the Arts Commission, I think that's significant. I served for 6 years, and that was back in the day when we knew what the funding was for each art organization. So I've had to deal with the city on those terms, but also sit in an auditorium filled with folks who were not happy and wanted to express themselves, and having to listen to everyone and have meetings that go late, but that's what you do as a public servant. You have to listen. And then with the Center for Mexican American Cultural Arts, we were building our wonderful M.S. Barrientos Cultural Center, and that was a $10.9 million bond package. So when you're dealing with that much money, again, you're going to be dealing very intimately with the city, and we had to be a liaison with the community and the city to bring it together, and we did face a lot of challenges, but we're so happy with the final result, and so I think that's really what distinguishes me.
Great. Okay, well, let's dive into some of the issues. Let's talk about energy. You're a big fan of solar. Say more about where you think we should and shouldn't be getting our sources of energy for Austin.
Well, I'm always going to support efforts to get more renewable energy and to get away from non-renewable sources. So with solar, I was so thrilled to find out that the Weberville farm is not directly in my district, but we're neighbors. And so I definitely want to use that as a platform to get especially underserved communities who I know pay a lot more. We just heard at your Austin Energy Forum, pay so much more for bills, and because they're lacking weatherization. But there are rebates, there are programs to help improve that. So I think that Weberville Solar Farm will be a great platform to educate folks in District 1 about the benefits of renewable energy. If we have some of the Lafayette plant, Lafayette.
Fayette.
The Fayette plant is our coal plant, correct? And so I want to get us away from coal. And then for the South Texas project, don't want to see us renew any association with nuclear.
Okay.
So
how about Decker, the gas-fired plant?
Decker, that too, but you also have to make sure that our renewable sources are the wind energy that we're pursuing and the solar energy we're pursuing are ramped up enough that we can completely. But if we can do that, that'd be wonderful.
Okay, and I assume you believe that Austin City Council should be managing Austin Energy.
Absolutely. I think there's nothing as basic quality of life issue as your utility bill. Okay. And I think we must maintain oversight there.
Okay, let's see. And the area is zero waste. You have some interesting ideas, some of which have to be around disposables, and the other has to do with composting. So tell us where you stand on these different things and what you'd like to see happening.
You might have to remind me what I said on my questionnaire, but as far as zero waste, I think that there are ways to encourage folks to get away from plastic. There's a big ball of plastic in the Pacific, and we need to stop contributing to that. And I talked about using razor blades, not disposable blades, using there are other things that you can do. Matches instead of the lighters. Those are just basic things that we can get folks to start adopting instead of the things that end up in the ocean.
Right. You say you're not a fan of, or you're not going to join the composting bandwagon.
I'm not right now. I don't want. I mean, I see it as attracting vermin, and I don't want to do that. And I'm very proud of what I do as far as my recycling. I'm very good at that, but and very conscientious. I don't think I put the recycling, the big bin, or actually the trash pickup. I think I can just do it in once per month. I don't have trash pickup every week. So composting might take me. I might have a little learning curve there on what needs to be done, but.
Okay, let's shift to transportation. You say freeways, not toll roads. Say more about your vision for Austin's transportation future and how we need to be building that out, what we should be voting on or supporting or not supporting.
Right. I can't support Proposition 1, I'm not against rail system, but because it would increase property taxes, I can't do that when so many folks are really clamoring for some relief there. But I believe that in District 1, if we have economic development, which allows folks to stay in their neighborhoods instead of going across town for basic services, we only have 2 grocery stores in the larger part of District 1. And then, again, the tolls. I feel that we have an infrastructure, a freeway infrastructure, and that's what we've always needed in Austin. I'm from San Antonio. We've got 2 loops in San Antonio, and if you've been there during rush hour, at least traffic moves. It's not this parking lot that we have in Austin, which is more polluting than moving traffic. So I would like to see the toll roads opened. I'd like to try to get tech stock if I serve on the comprehensive planning and transportation committee of the city council, to try to get tech stock to consider toll-free Fridays. Let's start with toll-free Fridays, reduce some of that congestion, let folks use it, and then maybe ultimately open them up.
And this is tied to, you're not a fan of the Campo 2035 plan.
Absolutely. No more toll roads. I'd like to see a moratorium on toll roads. Some folks say that we need them to relieve congestion, but if we look, clearly they're not working. Folks would rather stay in traffic than pay that toll. I think it's pretty apparent.
Let's see. Oh, you have innovative ideas about electric vehicles. You're a big fan.
I am.
And what should we do to support that?
I'd like to see more of an infrastructure. We're working on that with the electric bikes and things like that. But I've been to Portland. As you know, I'm an automotive journalist as my freelance work, and I've seen their whole commitment to electric vehicles where it's free. When you're parking downtown at City Hall, we shouldn't have to pay parking and to charge up your car. I think those kind of things would encourage a buy-in. That's kind of what's happening. That's why it's hard to get a variety of electric vehicles in Austin, because we're not a great market. They have them in California, but we don't get them. But if we get folks to buy into it, and then that would build a market for electric vehicles, and we could have greater diversity. Every manufacturer has an electric vehicle. We just don't get to see them here in Austin.
Okay, so vehicles and transportation is closely tied to land use planning. What should we be doing? What do you think about Code Next, or about Imagine Austin, and how we're developing, and what should we be doing to be sustainable?
Well, for District 1 specifically, we definitely need some economic development, but that Code Next and rewriting of the land development code will be key to make sure that the development we get, as I said, we have need of basic services, retail, restaurants, movies, everything. But we need to make sure that development is compatible with our neighborhoods. We don't want to see that overrun other neighborhoods. We don't want to see the extra traffic that it'll bring. All of that's going to have to be planned very, very carefully, but it is something that we do need.
Okay, and you are all about educating people. Say something more about the leadership you want to provide to engage the members of your district in city issues and knowing about the different programs and things like that. How would you build that rapport?
Well, I think the most important thing about a single-member district is transparency and accessibility. So I would propose opening a satellite office in our district, again, to make City Hall more accessible, so folks don't have to get into traffic to go downtown. They can come to my satellite office. They can share their differences, communicate with me, let me know what the issues are. And then I would love to see a marketing plan for the city to talk about all these rebates and all these great programs that I don't think that folks are aware of. I wasn't aware of them until I had to start answering your questionnaires. And I was thinking of ideas, and then I looked it up and said, oh, well, we already have a rebate program for that. So I think that the city needs to do a better job of educating folks about what they can do to bring down to save energy, but also to bring down their utility bills.
And carbon footprint.
Carbon footprint, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you could do one thing in office in terms of the environment, and you knew you couldn't fail, what would you want to accomplish?
I'd like to move the landfill out of my district.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That is an eyesore. What's happened with districts like District 1 is that we tend to be a dumping ground, and so I think that we need to recognize that every part of Austin has a fragile environment, and that people are included, and that should be a priority.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brandy.